Mike Gill and Crash.
Hello, Mike.
Hey, Crash.
Hi.
I keep saying we have an important one here. When haven't we had one? Have people have been watching how everything's been progressing and where we're going and how we're getting that? And it's not exactly a step by step as how we have said it was going to happen. Let's just do a quick reminder. We turned around a couple months ago and told you that the Sinaloa cartel was going down. They were going to get arrested across this country, right? And I told you about Medicaid and Medicare. And really, the nature of Pandora's box was corrupt everything an agency that uses Medicaid and Medicare, federal money, federal funding, right? Such as treatment centers and pharmacies. Now, because I knew they were going to get those treatment centers, there's hospice care, everything that's going on, we'll briefly talk about it. It's happening right now across the country. They're getting bagged for fraud. And you're finding it's always foreigners that own the agencies that get federally licensed. Who's licensing the Somali? Oh, the governor? Oh, and now we got 50 governors going to be get it looked at, as I told you before. Now, so what happened then? Sinaloa cartel gets busted. Florida, New Hampshire, Texas, Arizona, okay? It's beginning. Now, why are they busted? Because they own the treatment centers. They own what charges Medicaid and Medicare. It's the stealing. It's the back end. Not only do they sell you drugs, not only do they make trillions of stealing Medicaid and Medicare, at the end, you didn't get help. Most of them are dead. So let's think about this. I told you with the cartel then, once they started arresting these people, as they have, and we'll go over it briefly with some pictures, as they have, it would trigger who owned the entities. You find out who owned the entity. What was it in Texas? The Russian mob? Sinaloa cartel in Maine? So, in other words, once you've got them, that's the next step. That's why the Sinaloa cartel had to be removed. You would have found them in Medicaid and Medicare, which is how I said they're doing it and how you lost trillions. It has to be enormous. That's the biggest pipeline. That's the biggest pipeline that's sucking the money and the wealth out of this country. You're seeing it, and it's going on right now. And the only reason why they've come and told you, and not all of it, they didn't tell you about the Department of Justice protection, how it connects to all these politicians, the Senate, the governors in each state. They're not giving you the full thing. It's just all in motion. It's in motion because you're going to turn around and say, why are we broke? You're pointing it to all this now. You're broke because of what I told you was getting broke. They even put J.D. Vance in charge of it. And the Wizard of Oz. I mean, I guess we can all sleep tight. Where the fuck
Dr.
were they
Oz.
before? Right. So that's what's happening. You are going to find out. They threw it out there and only cost the cartel. And then they turn around and say, oh, they stole your money and shut it down. All right. But know that that's what it was. And look around. It's going on right now. And know the Department of Justice protects all of it. We're going to go into the blackmail and extortion Department of Justice. Every plan and every angle goes through the Department of Justice. Have you noticed that Tucker Carlson goes everywhere to the point of the Department of Justice? Or all these people, they don't say the Department of Justice. They all know that it is. So let's go through some of these things and go through. But what I'm doing in this is I'm also giving us a way in. I'm telling you they're petrified. The evidence that I have is insurmountable and absolute, which is why this is happening too. So let's put these pieces together. No, everything you're seeing is not by coincidence, including the stock market and the bond market. And they're not telling you the truth there. Don't forget what happened with Medicaid and Medicare that siphoned the wealth off this country affects your bond market with the ability to pay. And if you're broke, you can't pay. And now we've got guys like Bongino saying bonds, bonds, bonds. What? Bonds, 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 because the bond represents your ability to pay the debt back. The debt goes higher, the rates go higher when your ability to pay it back becomes questioned. And you're being questioned. And this war in Iran didn't help anything. So in other words, already dealing with inflation, now you're going to deal with the inflation affected by oil prices across this country. And don't forget, it's not just gas in your car. It's manufacturing, it's shipping, it's energy.
Yeah.
Right. There couldn't be a worse thing to have done is hit the one thing that was holding inflation down was oil and gas prices when you sold everybody the hell out. Okay, let's start. We're going to start with Medicaid and Medicare. Dr. Oz announces Medicaid fraud audit for all 50 states. But what did I tell you? It's in all states. It's in every single state. Certain cartels own multiple states, like the Anagos cartels own Massachusetts and Maine, which is why they're both centered, they're both on the blacklist, and they're both being investigated. Oh, and you're going to like the rest of this. Well, I'll save it for you. All right. Next. Oh, okay. Dr. Oz names 5 states in the fraud crackdown as Trump administration targets Medicaid abuse. Really? Now you're targeting them. You know who the 5 were? Minnesota. Oh, remember Waltz and the Somalis. California. Oh, well, now you went Newsom. And the other, there was a rep just got arrested there. And what is it? Shirwell there is not for Medicaid fraud so far, but just a predator. Anybody getting the idea that maybe the Senate and the Congress aren't the most law-abiding citizens? Isn't it funny it comes up with Maine? You're going to like what happened. You're going to find this very interesting with Maine. Uh-oh. You know who just got busted in Maine? The Sinaloa cartel. The Wire, the next one. The Maine Wire. The State Department announced yesterday that it is imposing visa restrictions on 75 individuals who are family members and associated persons linked to the Sinaloa cartel. Wow. Can you get further away from Sinaloa than Maine? Now, do you remember when I told you this was going to break with the Sinaloa cartel? I was talking about Maine and the money laundering and Penn National and how that came there and that all those Maine was being bought up by cartel and the Chinese and they were taking over. Well, wait a minute. That's 75 people in Maine. The growing volume of restrictions and apprehension show that President Trump committed to full power of the United States to dismantle the narco-terrorist network operating in Western Hemisphere. The Sinaloa cartel designated foreign terrorist organ's primary conduit of fentanyl smuggling. Do you remember when I told you about fentanyl and the Chinese make fentanyl and why are we going to buy the fentanyl from Sinaloa cartel when they're going to be investigated with Medicaid and Medicare? There it is. You got to go. Well-known recent designated a weapon of mass destruction. Geez, I guess killing hundreds of thousands of you and making you drug addicts is a cause of concern and terrorism as it's always been. Now you're in on it. You know why they're in on it? Hit it. Because they all know it's a fucking joke. Feel like our 38 trillion national debt is actually 38 trillion in fraud. Exactly. And they're all guilty. And remember when you got the governor here? Every state, the governor signs off on those feds, all those licensing, which I showed you how Sununu was and so forth. Walz is doing the same thing with the same people, which is why he has to resign. Okay? It's remember now, state and federal. You get the governors in your state that are corrupt, that are working with them. You get the reps that are in the state and the Senate working with them. You go to the Senate and Congress and you audit those assholes again, and you tie it all in. You get them all. You get the state and federal. Okay. You see how it's taking out the state and federal? Walt's state, Omar's federal. There you go. You want to get them all? And then you turn around and start making immunity deals with those guys and get them all. Oh, okay. Well, wait a minute. You know who was hit it? We had Florida on there too. Remember how the Coast Guard was taking them in on ships and so forth? And they were unloading the fentanyl. Speaker Johnson supports expelling Sheila McCormick after she indicted for stealing $5 million FEMA funds. Listen, if you don't nail this shit down, they steal everything. This is how you got to approach it. Ready? If they can steal it, they will. Their favorite methodology is through the federal government. FEMA, watch when you people start watching and investigating COVID. Did you know Sununu
What
took
is it?
millions? COVID.
Oh, COVID. Okay.
Relief fund.
Yeah.
There's more trillions they stole. Sununu signed up for it. I don't know. I guess his mountain had a bad day. Bill Shaheen, they're getting it too. The politicians were getting millions.
Yeah.
Watch when you audit that. Do you think the thieves, when they get a free lunch, didn't eat it? When they were stealing everything that wasn't tied down previously? Of course. It's one nightmare. Okay? Hit it. At this time, a massive, large-scale federal operation is underway in Minnesota as the FBI, along with the United States Department of Homeland Security, Homeland Investigators, executed more than 22 raids as part of a sweeping fraud investigation involving businesses, including children's centers. Children's centers on this list of them stealing is on the bottom. How about those hospitals? And I'm telling you, hospice, they're dealing straight up fentanyl. How about all those other transition centers for families? It's all bullshit. They steal from everything, and it's always a drug cartel. Now, this thing in Minnesota is exactly the same way in every state. You think it's just because of Minnesota? California, more fentanyl was coming out of Los Angeles, Medicaid and Medicare, than in the rest of the country. 60%. Okay. Now, let's think about this. So now we've got Oz going around the country. We're going to talk to every governor. Okay. We're going to investigate all these entities that are committing Medicaid and Medicare frauds, which is why they all own things they could sell Medicaid and Medicare. For instance, here you go, Oz, the Hope Treatment Center. And you know what? You can also check, we have multiple locations. Granite State Recovery Center, which is the largest in New England. Why are they all owned by the guy on the right there, Dick Anagos, the cartel? All three members that you just saw, Bill Greiner, Andy Cruz and Dick Anagos, is all members of the cartel, partners with the Sinaloa cartel. Now, wait a minute. You need distribution. You need to make all that money with Medicaid. Let's go to the guy who owns hospitals, treatment centers. Okay. Transition centers. Here's a kick in the balls. Let me addict you and your children. You spend all your money. You lose your home. You're out in the street living in a tent. Now, if we can get federal money, which they did to put them in transition, we'll put them in the street and then we'll take them out and pay the government pay us. There's Anagos on the far left, standing right next to Sununu, the governor. Who's in the middle? Pappas, the state rep. Hit it.
Who's on the right?
On the far right,
Yeah.
we got Pappas is in the middle. I don't know if I can.
Is it Cruz or it's not Griner?
Oh, on the far right is Alex Walker.
Alex Walker, yeah. That picture always cracks me up because he's wearing his like galoshes to go out in the snow.
But think about this. We're opening transition. We got the governor. We got Walker. Oh, wait a minute. This is Hope Treatment Center in the Catholic Medical Center, which Walker in the middle is the CEO. We've got Anagos, the cartel, cutting the ribbon. So wait a minute. We've got Walker in each photo. We have Sununu in the other photos. We've got Anagos in all those photos, all these openings, and guess what? They're all stealing trillions from Medicaid and Medicare. Why is it hospital? Why is it treatment? Why is it transition? From the guy who owns the strip clubs and casinos.
Casinos, yeah.
Hit it. And they need license for those too. So Anagos is licensed for everything when Anagos has been arrested a dozen times for major drug deals. That's why this is insurmountable for them, because if they're coming in there, audit that, they find out the guy who owns it is partners with the Sinaloa cartel, El Chapo, who they wanted to keep there, El Chapo's cousin who got arrested building Anagos's building complex with the largest cocaine bust in the state. And then I turn around and got the largest cartel fentanyl bust in the state. I see it too. So why are they in the same pictures each and every time? Because it's one network. You get it? It's one. It's done the same way. It's a patent to steal. And it's also then gets you to the governor, gets you to the Washington, the congressmen and the senators. I mean, is this the path in? That path is breaking down now, which is why all of a sudden you're finding out something about it. When you find out about it, you're 20 miles down the road. All right, hit it. I lived this shit. I confronted every one of those. Walker was my lawyer. All right. So I want you to, we're going to take a move here, but not as far as you think. It's this going broke has put the ball in motion, because you went broke because of the Department of Justice. Do you remember that list of evidence that I gave you? What was it? The IRS, TICA, the audits, the banking department? You see how they get away with it? The Department of Justice is protecting them. Bill Shaheen came from the Department of Justice, who represented Maxwell. And now, you know what we found out about Maxwell? Her father, Robert Maxwell, stole the nuclear plants and gave them to Israel, and Israel sold them to Russia. Now, this came out of Tucker Carlson, but I don't believe it's wrong. But just think about this. We are drowning inside. More Department of Justice, it's spies, domestic and foreign. Okay. Now, so listen, this is the shift now. So why do we have this separation from an Alex Jones to a Trump? And I'll read in a second. We're a General Flynn. And we have all these lists of names targeting Trump, and then the other ones that are protecting Trump. like Bongino. You know what we never hear? And Jones has told you Trump's targeting. Flynn's told you Trump. There's no doubt
This
about
is
it.
what that's what I asked you. I'm like, go ahead, say it. Why don't people?
Flynn, I mean, Crash asked me the same thing. Why don't we know? Why aren't they saying it? Why?
Why? Yeah. Why are they saying they're going after him? Did Jones ever tell us? And did they ever tell us why?
No. That Trump lost his mind. In fact, I think this is what he said. Now's a good time to read it. Alex Jones said Trump is not the man he was last year. Stated, we need to sad about Trump. It's not funny. This is not good. But he's gone and that's it. He's gone and that's it. Sounds pretty final. But let's not forget this. You ready? Trump went after Flynn first. Trump went after Jones first. Hence, we have Flynn and Jones telling you Trump's going after us. All right? You heard it from the ass's mouth. There it is. Why? The reason why is insurrection, baby. We gave you that. Did we not give you that? I set it up. That's the Arizona meeting. That's J6. And we're going to take you through that in the mind's eye of a real asshole, Nick Alvear. But we'll get to it. So you can see how the CIA works and how we just strung up a network. And we're getting to this network. And that network is watching and is afraid. You don't see it. But boy, when their asses are on the line, they're paying attention. And they knew who I was from the beginning. So, insurrection, because Flynn and Jones were involved in J6. If Trump's going to take a walk from the insurrection, and trust me, that plot to take Trump out, impeach Trump, is still moving. Jack Stiff is still moving. You know what they were waiting for? Numbers. You know what they're getting? Fast and furious? Numbers. You want to shit go worse than it is? Throw the Iran into it? Trump didn't know that was going to finish the job, which is why he's being told what to do, which comes through the Department of Justice and its relationship and partnership with fucking Israel. Yeah. So in other words, there's nothing disconnected. And this is what I do on everything. And I run successful businesses. Where am I wrong? What won't work? How will this idea fail? I got nothing for you. This is exactly what it is. This is exactly what's happening. So Flynn and Jones is going to go. Trump's going to go. It was those guys. Why else? Why not know? It should be the question of the century. Why did Trump go after you assholes? All right? Because they're both working with the DOJ and the CIA. Right. So when I was in Arizona and Shelby Bush said 98% CIA, believe it.
And Jones is working with the Mossad, so.
Which is working with the DOJ.
DOJ, right.
Which puts them both under their umbrella. You see what I'm saying? This is what it is. So the DOJ is the enemy. The DOJ is targeting Trump with the insurrection. Trump turns around and says, you set me up, which goes back to my evidence on December 18th. You're going to love even the rest of it. And then goes to the hard evidence from the Arizona meeting. Have you noticed those assholes have said nothing about not being true?
Right.
Mike Hill's lying. They can't because there is tapes. They can't because it is with the DOJ. It is with any of them. So you know what they do? As these all people do. You know what they do? Their plan is ignore and hope it goes away, however long it takes. Don't confront it. Don't say anything. That's what it is. So Trump's got Flynn, which is why Trump also ordered the audit for the 2020. And how about this? You got Mary Fanning, who wrote the plan of the insurrection, whose husband sells Dominion, her law firm sells Dominion, the same one connected to Bill Barr. So if we're going to go through in there, how did you sell it if it's corrupt and cheating? Where's the value? Did anybody ever come up with any evidence? No. The evidence that Trump would find would be Flynn. That would give him the option to get out, that he was set up, that he was entrapped. That's what you're hearing now. Okay, so that's in place. We know that that's in place. So why did they turn him? That's why Trump gave him up. Now, the truth be told, they did set Trump up. That is the DOJ. That is why J6, the chief of police of the Capitol, turned around and said we couldn't arrest any of them. Half of them were feds. It was always a setup. It's still a setup. And even then, when we went, where did I go? From that December 18th, shortly after that, I meet the podcasters, which is Flynn's team. It's CIA. Oh, the Q and all this. It's CIA, assholes. They turn around and move right in. How about this? They got you to go to J6. They started you think of the insurrection. You're in the bag. You're thinking this is all going to hell. Flynn's running around in a bus trying to arm you. And if we lose this, he turns around and turns on you. The DOJ goes, hey, arrest them all. And they got you talking on the computer. They got you talking on Twitter. I mean, that's the setup. Hit it. The Three Stooges. Well, let's take a look at this. Bongino was a podcaster. I mean, Crash said this the other day, it's like the media too. And the podcasters, they took all the social people out there, not good at what they do, lying bastards, and put them in charge. Now, Bongino's now selling the fact that Trump's being set up. And he's calling out and calling Flynn a grifter.
Yeah.
Jones a grifter. Patel saying similar things about all these grifters and so forth. Now, let's think about this. Bondi was tied to the Epstein files, tied to Epstein as the U.S. attorney in Florida who accosted her as the prosecutor worked for her. So she was always tied to them. All of them blocked the Epstein files. Bongino made a career telling he would open them. Patel gets in his office because tell him he's going to open them. Bondi said they were open, and nobody's got anything. So what do you think that is? See what I'm saying? But that's the move. But there's the separation. Hit it. We're giving a little separation. But what he was saying is Dan's roasting General Flynn and Mike Flynn and Griff virus. Okay? So in other words, and I've heard Bongino was saying this. They were all spies. They were all con men and so forth. Unhinged over the office meeting from 12/18/20. Okay, report. Okay, hit it. We're going to go back there. Now, if we're going to go to Washington, we're going to go to December 18th. Let's talk about those people a little bit. One of those people, remember the doobie smoker? Nick Alvear. Wait a minute. Nick Alvear, there you have it. I fuck children. About Trump. Wait a minute now. Let's remember this Nick Alvear. Wasn't he the big good lion TV? Wasn't he pushing the hell out of Trump? That Flynn is a spy and a mole? He was telling me all that, and I have all that stuff. I have it in documents and text messages. He said it. Well, now, how's that for a turnaround about loving Trump? I fuck children? Trump? That's who we're dealing with. That's the mind of the CIA. This guy will lie to you and laugh in your face the whole time. That's what a CIA agent is. Hit it.
Well, Nick built his platform on supporting Trump. I mean, a lot of us supported Trump. I supported Trump. But when you
Right.
have new information come down and you're like, I don't know if I support that anymore, I didn't build a platform off of it. I didn't grift off of it. I changed my mind because of new information presented. He grifted off of it, made people believe that JAG took out people and Trump is CIC. I mean, he talked like it was real or fact.
And he's saying he's talking from J6. Right after that, he's saying, I hate Flynn, yet he was working with him.
Right.
He's on Trump. Trump was his assignment. You know who his assignment from there was?
You.
Me.
Yeah.
Me. That's why that little asshole shows up. And we're going to go over that. And the thing with Trump. Remember I told you, people, it's one CIA. Flynn, CIA. And then there's nobody else. They run it that way. So in other words, they'll play, I'm against Flynn. I'm against Trump. This is to show you that Alvear said he was for Trump. Over the top, making movies, wanting to make a movie of me, and then called him a pedophile. Okay? Whether he is or not, that's a far swing. And we'll hear that. So in other words, he built them, now he's destroying them. What did I tell you? They did a both. And now that he's working with Flynn, Trump's on Flynn, Flynn goes to him, I'm on Trump now. There you go. Hit it.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, Alvear special. He had Good Lion TV. He was making movies. Maybe you see the greatest show on fucking earth. He also gave you Follow the Yellow Brick Road, which code for MK Ultra. This asshole's laughing his ass off. This is what he sold you. And you bought it. And you made him rich. Rich enough for him.
And if you think about his name, and not just his name, a lot of their names, Good Lion. Okay, if you don't think of an animal lion, you're lying, like a good liar. You know what I mean? And they all have a play on their words where, or their names. Like in the Matrix, you don't want to be in the Matrix. You want to be out of the Matrix. And Shady Groove, who wants to be shady? I mean, the script keeper, who wants to keep a script? It's just all up. It's almost like you can see it, like that they created
gave you
this.
Cartoon characters.
Yeah.
And some of these characters, they came like script attacking. Right. That's who this guy is. But now let's think about this. CIA, and we're going to bring it more to you, working for Flynn, greatest show on earth, Pooping Trump, right? Wants to make a movie of me. And he was there on J6. Hit it. He was the inside job. He even gave himself a cover. Doobie Smoker sends for a role in J6 Riot. NBC News. You don't think this shithead knew to take? It was his people taking the picture. So puts him in there, the Doobie Smoker. And who's he backing? President Trump. Oh, you mean the pedophile? That guy? And you're in there to save Trump, smoking a doobie, to make publicity. Put you on there. That's what he was. So our boy, right, Alvear, was there. Now, what was he there doing? Oh, he's working for Flynn. We'll get into that next. Now, this might be a little... General Flynn has already been taken out by COC, Trump, and the JAG military administration. Oh, pack your bags, boys. Flynn's dead. How's that for giving you horse shit? You
And
believe
just
he's
so
dead?
I want to show you the whole tweet. It was in May 2024 he said that.
Yeah, I knew it was early, and he said it to me.
Right. That's the whole tweet there.
Right. So he's saying that Flynn died. Now, listen, don't miss this other part of that. Out by CIC Trump. Oh, wait a minute. You mean Commander-in-Chief Trump? So he's selling you on the fact that Trump's still the president,
Right.
which is why most of them did. He's the commander in chief. He's the president. He really has the code. Who was saying that? Oh, 107 and all
Derek
these
Johnson.
Derek Johnson, right. They were
Yeah.
all saying commander in chief. Terry Cassidy. Are you listening to these assholes still? Now, he lied to you about commander in chief. He lied to you about Trump being dead and the JAG military. And he did it in less than a paragraph.
Flynn being.
That's
Yeah.
all right. Hit it. All right. Now, this is interesting. Now, this is what they call hard evidence, boys and girls, with text messages between me and Alvear, who wants to make a movie of me. Famous. Well, let's see what he says to me. Now, there's a lot of other texts. They're all evidence, too, which, trust me, they're all sweating. Flynn's business partner, Boone Cutler, relocated from Nevada to Tennessee. Oh, Michelle Moore is from there. Boone Cutler, who I guess recently died. Or did he? Who said he died? Flynn. Flynn said he died in his arms. You weren't smooching, would you? Now, the thing here is, Cutler could be a connection to all these entities, such as Alvear. Now, Alvear we're using here to get in. If you remember at the time, what I was telling you then in May and there in 24, he is a way into the door. From there, I went to Arizona and opened that door. But he's a door to Flynn. He's a door to the Department of Justice. He's a door to the CIA. Ready? Ketchel put me in touch with an outfit based in Tennessee, which utilizes my services in providing intelligence on a contract basis. I'm very good at what I do. Meaning he's a good spy. Retained our services to provide intelligence on certain people and entities. Couldn't have been me now, could it? I caught the crew I work for manipulating my reports to reduce risk. They are former special op folks. And in one team who was Seth Ketchel had an affair and ended his marriage. So wait a minute. Let's take you here and go back to December 18th. Who was I talking to? Carissa Ketchel, his wife. The whole thing is one math is met. Goes all the way to Sidney Powell, who Carissa Ketchel works for. Oh! So Carissa Ketchel, who's on the phone with me, telling me Flynn wants this evidence and this evidence, right? This and this is the same time as J6 and the 3 weeks before that. Alvear is working with Flynn. Seth Ketchel, who's Flynn's right-hand man. Carissa Ketchel, who's like the assistant. Cutler was at the middle of J6, and none of them have been arrested or swatted. None of them have been arrested or swatted, including him. So in other words, he's playing the opposite side. He's saying what you're thinking, hey, they didn't get arrested. Hey, they didn't get arrested. Yeah, you didn't get arrested. Oh, they say you got arrested. Bullshit. All right? But that Ketchel, understand now, let's put this in your heads. That puts Alvear in that JSIP group, working with the same people I was working with and taking my evidence and working with Flynn. That also brings back to Stacy Burke, who was doing the same fucking thing, who was part of Arizona, and it was Alvear that was turning off to Matthew to send me to Arizona to get fucking smoked. Both of these assholes. Now, question I would have, do they know each other? Hit it.
Is this where we have Stacy Burke, or am I giving you a comment that Nick made?
You can hit me. You can hit me with Burke now.
Yeah, okay. And then okay.
Just because I want to just Stacy Burke puts herself in the same group as Alvear. The
Her
same
words.
group. A what?
Her words.
Her words, right. In the same group with Alvear. The same Flynn network, the same people that were involved in the insurrection that divided this country. You know how big this is? And if you get the Department of Justice behind this, both sides want all the truth suppressed, which is correct from the public. While Harris and Bush worked with Sidney Powell and Flynn to falsify frame and silence me to back in 21. You should ask them why. Well, wait a minute. That's the Arizona election. That's the audit. They suppressed and hid the audit, which is what? Now she's saying that, and she went to the J6 committee. She gave it to them. He was afraid that she was going to be hung out to dry, but she knew up to then. And that Arizona meeting, they brought up Shelby Bush and Harris brought up Stacy Burke, which is how I made the connection about they're talking about the ballots and that she had them locked away. And if Trump is looking for an audit, you may want all those ballots. They clearly brought them up in that meeting, an Arizona meeting, to cover their ass. All right. So listen, I want you to understand. That's Arizona. That's getting me to Arizona. That's with Matthew and Alvear. Stacy Burke's telling you the same players, and Alvear's saying I was working with them. Okay, hit it.
Now, this is where you told me to add in his comment he just made.
Yes.
So
all right.
This was on one of our shows.
Now, this is important.
Such a nice guy.
This is important because this is a comment Alvear made in our most recent podcast, just our last podcast. Holy fuck, Mike Gill looks fat and expired and crashed looking like menopause attacked her soul. Just kidding, man. Wow, all you must be hating the Epstein files right now. Trump pedo, our movement is for the children. Oh, so he's protecting the children again. You notice how those assholes all protect fucking children? Juan protects children. Flynn protects children. Throw a baby at him. You know, I mean, right. These assholes are the child. So, hit it. So now you just heard him say some nice, and listen, I am almost expiring, and I did get fat living in a fucking hole as he's sitting on a beach in Honolulu. But I regress. Mike Gill is one of the most important men of our time. That just might be true. This video explains in detail why he is so. The Flynn network offered him $50 million to essentially shut up and join the dark side. He basically told them to fuck off. Learn from Gill. All right. This is our good buddy, Nick, who says I have, with insight and knowledge and going to be the whistleblower, we're going to make a movie. The same one who just said I was going to expire. Now, I didn't take $50 million from Flynn Group. I refused it from the Department of Justice. When Flynn Group asked me about I could get my money from suing the IRS and the Treasury, that was the way they were going to pay me off, and it would be sealed, and you wouldn't even know I would be paid off. Now that I did say fuck off to, and there was no hesitation.
And that tweet, I don't know a date on that tweet. I'm going to say 23, like late 23 maybe, but it's still
late 23, early 24.
He deleted it. That's why I like to get the actual dates when I screenshot stuff. So I couldn't find that one. So
okay,
it was early.
It was early, and he did say it. So now remember now. Have you seen the swings now? He's making a movie of Trump, then making a movie of me, and I'm not backing Trump on anything. I'm saying they're all corrupt. The DOJ is leveraging Trump, and the DOJ is running the other group. So in other words, and Trump's leveraging the DOJ. Oh, you know how he's leveraging the DOJ? Flynn's behind the DOJ. You get Flynn, you get the DOJ. And you know what Trump's doing now? And you guys may be hearing it with Bongino and Patel, and we're going to make a lot of arrests. We got them now. The Russian hoax. The Russian hoax? Of course there was a Russian hoax. Who ran it? It was the Department of Justice. Who'd they send in to audit it, protect it? Oh, Durham. Oh, wait a minute. The U.S. prosecutor Durham that I was working with weeks before on the corruption of the Boston FBI and mob ties? Now you're going to use the same cover guy they gave me and put it on the Russian hoax. You notice they never, not only no one goes to jail, no one ever gets caught. So this is what Trump's doing. You ready? Did the DOJ? I'm going after the Russian hoax. Now we know you are guilty in that. I'm going to leverage you with the Russian hoax, Department of Justice. That's why all these people have to start using the word Department of Justice and stop being scared. You leverage the Department of Justice with their own rot. Now, the Russian hoax, as is the insurrection, was set up by the same Department of Justice. You knock on that door, it's to tell them, I know what you're here. This is where I'm going. This is how we're going to get there. And I'm throwing the cherry on top. Not that anybody's innocent in this. It's just that they're all guilty. But that's the leverage game. That's the negotiation game. And if when you don't have the proper leverage, they make it up. All right, hit it. I couldn't help myself, but I had to throw this in just before. Alvear, like all these assholes, script keeper. Was that shared by script keeper? It was shared by script keeper. So wait a minute. When I had Michelle Moore, the network that I caught involved script keeper that went to Alvear, that went to Ariel, and then Michelle has her little network of minions like Dorian Russell, right? And they all find Jesus. Who doesn't find Jesus? Juan find Jesus? He found him. Nick, now he found Jesus, and he's talking that way about Trump. Today I was baptized as a Christian. Thank you, God, for the new chapter. Scotty the Kid. Scotty the Kid. I've seen pictures of Scotty the Kid. It's what you think. I love you, brother. Thank you for ushering in Nick 2.2. Oh, there they are, taking a bath together. Now that I don't rule out. But you see how they all find Jesus? You know, they all, and you buy that bullshit. These people, it's their it's not about finding Jesus. It's what's their nature. What are they doing? Michelle's sending me to Arizona to be murdered. She's in this Flynn network. She's working with all these guys, including Alvear, which is why she lost her shit about exposing Alvear. And what turned around and separated us, because I couldn't tell you about Ariel. She wouldn't say that. So I said, no problem. We did. She didn't, because she was one of them. Okay, next.
You wanted to show this.
Yes, yes, thank you. Could you blow that up a tad? Now, we got Alvear out of his hole to comment. Thank you, that's good. To comment on our podcast, which means, one, they're watching. Didn't I tell you they were all watching, including the CIA? They were all watching. And then, what made him comment? He knows he's not supposed to do that. Juan knows he's not supposed to do that too. You don't want to make them think you're paying attention. But he had to, because he is scared. This Nick knows where I'm going with this. And I was always using his as a can opener. He gets me to Flynn. He gets you to the J6. He's involved. Now, wait a minute. Who else is involved? Who is behind all these podcasts? It's not just Nino, it was Michelle Moore too. Juan was feeding them everything. Juan's the one that was trying to flip me. When we posted Juan's information here, and the fact that he was charged with I don't know if it was charged, but the wife filed that fact that he was abusing their son. Anyhow, Juan comes out of the blue. You are taking risk here for being sued for defamation. Oh, you mean the storyteller, JFK Jr.? Oh, okay, Wayne. Exactly. JFK Jr. lying to us all The guy who doesn't show his face, who said they used disguises, let's put me in a deposition with Fathead. And we get to video it. Tell me we wouldn't sell tickets. Tell me afterwards you wouldn't punch yourself in the face for being stupid. Just saying. So one, for him even to say that is not thinking clearly. He's not thinking clearly because people are scared. Lose their concentration a bit. Do things they're not supposed to do. They did what I wanted them to do. So that's Alvear and Juan O'Savin checking in the last couple of days. Now you tell me, coincidence?
And I've said things about Wayne before. Now he blocked me on my main account because of you, because I guess being associated with you. But I've said things before on this account, and all of a sudden he came out. Whoever runs that account, but it's still supposed
him.
Yeah,
and it's some of them. And no one would put his name down there and say what he said.
Half these accounts are run by the CIA. So, I mean, there you go.
I'm thinking more than half. All right. Now let's go back now. We got Alvear scared coming in. We got 107 paying in. I guess they're all paying attention now. We have to have proof about December 18th and Carissa Ketchel and his tie with Alvear. Oh, hit it. Hey, my name is Carissa Ketchel on December 18th. That's while Trump was in the Oval Office with General Flynn and Powell. What did Alvear say? Carissa worked with Powell. And as I knew it, she worked with Flynn too, taking all this evidence, and Ketchel. So this verifies this. I updated General Flynn. You should be getting a call within an hour, and I did. So Alvear said, Carissa Ketchel. There's Carissa Ketchel. This was the implementation plan. This is when Powell and Flynn and Patrick Burns tried to get Trump to sign an insurrection lawsuit, which would have depicted and set him up, which is what they wanted to do. But listen, we've got Alvear from J6. We got Alvear working with the crew that was in the Oval Office with Trump reaching out to me. So all of a sudden, when I go in the podcast world, I'm the most important whistleblower in history. How did Alvear know? Alvear knew because he was working with the whole crew, both Ketchels and Flynn and Powell, all of them. It was bullshit. So that puts him there to there. And now he's back. He never left. Hit it. Well, let's take that little trip again. So if Matthew Tuckeroni is sending me to Arizona to get smoked, Alvear was going to have a movie and send me to Tennessee to get smoked. Well, the question would be, do they tie to Flynn? They both? Oh, yes, they do. We just knew about that, right? Did they know each other? Yes, from working with Flynn. The sovereignty. In fact, Matthew's connection on Michelle So, he spoke of Alvear being with him at Nikki Klein's house, and they were dealing with money laundering and Ukrainians. How's that? Hit it. Where are we off here? Now, let's throw us a curveball somewhere. Uh-oh. Are you saying Matthew worked with Flynn? You bet your ass. Remember the sovereignty bullshit? And Michelle was selling that with the Flynns, and he's selling it. They were all making money scams. Sovereignty was one of those money scams. But he's connected to Flynn. Who would be fine getting me smoked? The DOJ and Flynn. Why was it so important at that time? Because Sununu was going to run for president with Nikki Haley. That was the essence of the meeting. Get rid of Trump, move them in, which would have been the military-industrial complex. I don't know if we could have dropped any more bombs, but that was the plan. Hit it. Now, who else was on the phone with me and sent me down there? Who helped me put together that Arizona meeting? Who brought in Shelby Bush? Liz Harris. Well, wait a minute. That's Liz Harris and Mike Lindell. Liz Harris and Burns. Liz Harris and Powell. She was part of the group too. What did Stacy Burke say? She helped fix the audit. Harris. Harris was used with Matthew to bring me here when Harris was tied to the Sinaloa cartel accusation. They brought me there with an explanation and then to smoke me, and Harris was part of it. She was always one of the Flynn operators. And if you listen to the Arizona meeting, so was Stacy Bush, Shelby Bush.
Yeah.
Thank you. Shelby Bush was. And they explain it. That's why it's hard facts, hard evidence. Did it? Oh, we got Alvear again. At the same time going, deep state shill trying to deflect because I caught you on your involvement in J6 and Flynn. Nice try, Roger. Meaning Roger Stone. So he's talking to Roger Stone, goes, hey, I got you. Stone's part of this group too. But your pedo boy, Phil G, already tried to share that and still here, calling you out. Nice to see you shaking in your boots there. Mike Gill and I see you for a mile away. You'll see how what he is saying previously and the other one, that they know my insight. That's why he's even saying, I see you a mile away. Listen, I see him a mile away and you too. There he is. All right? And what was his contact? What was Michelle's? I mean, what was Nick to Michelle? Matt? Michelle. They were all coming from Michelle.
Right.
Then we have Matthew. After the Arizona meeting, and again, hard copy, evidence, witnesses. She's a witness. He's a witness. You're all witnesses. I don't have the tape on. Stop. Liz Harris has the tape. Liz Harris won't give it up either. We are literally trying to get it from her. It proves the meeting actually took place. So there is a tape. He was there, and I believe he has one. She does have one too, Harris, and so does Bush. They all have tapes, and everybody made a fucking copy. The DOJ has it. This is all known. Good morning, Mike says you recorded Saturday's meeting. Shelby Bush. Please upload. You notice? He didn't upload anything. None of them ever did. Liz Harris recorded it. She was wearing a wire. Liz told him not to record. The minute she would have said to him not record, he records. Have you noticed since then he's playing all these recordings? He recorded everything. But okay, so what it means is there's Arizona. There's the connection with Alvear and Matthew to Michelle. Matthew and Alvear to Flynn. Matthew and Alvear to Harris. All right, hit it. This is all connected. You cannot miss any of it. Now, where's Alvear? He was missing for months. Didn't say anything. Where's his home? Honolulu, Hawaii. That's right. He packed his bags. He's on the beach in Hawaii. That's how, and listen, and I'm homeless looking like shit. And he's in Hawaii laying on the beach. I mean, you want to know who's telling you the truth? Who's living in? All right. Now, you're going to love this. He just started his podcast again. Oh, Doobie continued. The Doobie Smoker podcast continued.
Are you saying this is current?
Yes.
And he's calling.
Just now.
Okay.
Just now. He was gone for 3 months. He explains it. And if you notice, right, he's got a bit of a tan, and he does his podcast with no shirt.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I didn't see the podcast. I'd have to go look. But he's got the nerve to call you fat or whatever he said about you. But look at his face. I mean, he's like 10, 20 pounds heavier in the face. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's round. And anyway.
Hey, listen. Being heavier means I can't leave a room.
Well, here's the thing. Calling names doesn't affect us. I mean, that's what they do. When they have nothing else, they call you names. And it doesn't faze me. I grew up with a bunch of guys, and I don't care what they say because I have tough skin, because it's like, that's how we talked or they talked, and you just put up with it. I don't know. It's not nothing to get upset about.
Listen,
But
believe me, that doesn't bother me.
no,
I
they
am
think.
fat right
I
now,
guess
and I do look like I'm going to expire.
they think it does. I guess.
Well, you know what? That's how they think. So we put that out there to show you how they operate. And listen, this guy comes back after laying on the beach and staying in Honolulu, the thing doing the same shit. This guy's is molding his life, messing with your brains. All right, hit it. Well, let's not leave Ariel out. Remember now, when I went to Arizona, you know what Harris was saying? I'm talking to Ariel. She's talking to Ariel. Ariel. I go, what the fuck is Ariel? And then Ariel turns around and was saying about how the Sinaloa cartel was getting busted with the politician. How did he fucking know that? He didn't. This guy was a mole for me. Michael Flynn is mortified of Mike Gill. Why is that? And that came from Ariel. I didn't say it. And Ariel was working with who? Alvear. Michelle Alvear, script keeper Alvear, Ariel Alvear. Ariel was working with him on Follow the Yellow Brick Road. You know, the movie about fucking with your brains. So he's tied to Ariel. Hit it. And Michelle's tied to Ariel. And Michelle's telling you that Ariel knows Alvear's CIA. Whoa. So Alvear's CIA, Ariel knows he's CIA, which brings the question, how does he does it? Michelle knows, and has proof. Then why hasn't she posted or said it? This is right after I said, if I'm not going after Ariel, I'm done. And then she says, oh, now I have proof. Ariel and Alvear know CIA. That incriminates them both.
Well, here's my question. Both Liz and Michelle both were like, Ariel this, well, Liz especially, Ariel, and you're like you said, who the hell's Ariel? They didn't even know who he, well, okay, they pretended not to know who he was. So why hinge your every belief on what this anonymous person with 400,000 followers, you know what I'm saying? Like they had to been, you obviously, it just is clear to me that they knew who he was or who he's affiliated with.
They all did. It was one group.
Right.
Don't forget that 98% CIA came from Shelby
and
Bush and Harris.
And Liz, right.
Right. They know and was working with them. They just thought they picked the right team. And it had to do with the election audit. Right. What? The same one that Trump wants an audit with now. How does it not involve them with also Stacey Burke? You see, it was always the plan. This is the crew. We're getting the CIA, and then from one, you get to Nino, you get to Alpha Warrior and Mike Jaco.
All of those. SG Anon, right. Gene Decode. I mean, it's
people
all.
You still don't show your faces. And one, they still, you don't know who Ariel is.
No.
Ariel could be a think tank with a bunch of, now, what Ariel's still supporting now is Trump. So now these division of what you're seeing happen, you got to keep in mind, pick a side. There's Ariel to Trump. Bongino to Trump. Tucker Carlson, not so much. And the list of hit, including Flynn and all the boys. Now they're against Trump. But see, there was the flip. All right. Hit it. Just another, this is a recent post of Alvear. Remember when Trump said the war was won 2 months ago? I swear the left MAGA now is the Q-tards, Q-drifters, Q-hopefuls, and fucking idiots.
The guy that just got a 2.0 baptism.
Right.
This is how he talks now.
Exactly. Right after the baptism where he found God, you would think he would have reservations. All right, hit it. Now, wait a minute now. So in other words, okay. All right. But this thing with Q, he knows. Now he's all of a sudden, now you're Q-tards. But now he's for Flynn. Now he's saying Q was, I'm telling, all right, now hit it.
Well, my question was, why, I wonder why he didn't comment on something on Twitter for us, you know, instead of going to Rumble. Why didn't he post it on Twitter?
He watches Twitter. And
Yeah.
that podcast, the last podcast, scared him.
There's more people on Twitter too that would see it.
Right. He's afraid where that's going to go. Think about this. All this stuff is evidence. This isn't bullshit. I'm showing you evidence. I'm showing you communications. You know and see podcasts of me going there. Each one of those true. You see the text messages. None of them denied it, by the way. Nobody. Now, this is a little interesting. General Flynn, remember how he got, I'm innocent. And he was awarded $1.25 million. Remember how many of us said, well, they did that and make it look like the DOJ gave him a deal. The DOJ, welcome back. But I got to pay you off. $1.25 million. How many of you said out there, boy, that doesn't seem like a lot of money. Not when these people are winning hundreds and millions of lawsuits. 1.25 million for all that bullshit? Well, let's go on. This is called being patient and persistent. Oh, he's persistent, right? 10 fucking years, right? And you're patient amongst being a thieving bastard. When you know that the truth is on your side, you keep fighting. Never quit. That's exactly what I'm doing, asshole. And I have evidence. I have proof. What the fuck do you have? I know what you have. You have a settlement.
Protection from the DOJ is what he has.
Ah, exactly. The license for the DOJ. That gets the DOJ, Flynn, to target Trump. We've got our sides, which is also why Trump's going after Flynn. So what we have is Trump administration, it ain't Trump, has agreed for a second settlement with General Flynn. Wait, we get two? We get the DOJ, and who's this lawsuit with? Oh, I know. Let me see. The United States. United States? And Flynn? And you win again? Why'd we have two? Wait a minute. So he wins again. The second
I
one.
didn't actually go look this up. Did you actually look up the court case? I didn't do it. I didn't have the energy, but
I went on his
well,
Twitter account.
I don't mean on Twitter. I mean the actual court case.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't yet. All right, now think about this. How much was he suing for?
50 million.
50 million.
Sound familiar?
Oh, it does. It's the difference when someone says no and someone says yes. So he's getting paid again to the 1.25 that you saw. I don't know if they'll let you see the other one, but is it the 50 mil? So when you were thinking he didn't get bought for 1.25, how about 50? 50 do it? That's exactly. Why did you put the numbers down? And you're patient. You're patient. It only worked now because you cut a deal now. Now you turn around and get paid off, and it looks legal. The Department of Justice, you can't find his money in his accounts and say, hey, where'd you get that?
Right.
Not that 50. Well, I got it from United States of America. United States taxpayers paid me 50 million. I was patient. You were patient. You were there because you were lying. And before that, it was Turkey and money laundering. Remember? It was defense intelligence, moving children. Remember? You were the dirtiest bastard they could find. Turns out the DOJ has a use for that person. Now, when shit's blowing up, you get paid off again. Again? Now think about this. So that means Washington Department of Justice is paying Flynn for his silence. He's being paid for his silence. Now think about this. That came to me. If you're paying for someone's silence, it means you want him to go away. What is Flynn going to say when the people paying him off is the people that he would be endangering or targeting? He's got to do this to save himself by saying, hey, and spin it. You see, I was right, and that's why they paid me. It wasn't a bribe. It wasn't a payoff. I was right. It's good to be patient.
Yeah.
You buying that fucking bullshit? The guy driving the fucking bus with collection plate, who's now getting paid, which might mean in this division, Trump they're looking, this movement, that payment is to impeach him. To have Flynn not flip as a witness. Flynn goes, what's in it for me? 50 million, dude? Okay. So and think about this. It's all in order. It's all in line right at the exact time shit's coming down. He gets paid, you get impeached. What? What it means is Flynn may just disappear. Take his money and run. Trump just might disappear through the impeachment. Or if he doesn't get impeached, they got to worry about criminal action thereafter, which makes me front and center on the impeachment, on Flynn, and on the settlement. I mean, I'm there with all of it.
Hopefully, if Flynn disappears, his digital warriors go with him.
Well, that's what the digital warriors are afraid of. They're afraid how this will roll. That's why they're scrambling a little around going, if Trump outs Flynn, which is why most of them are against Trump, that Flynn piece goes to us. We're part of Flynn, which is why they're all shitting themselves and slamming Trump. Suddenly, they made a lot of money with Trump, and they called him commander-in-chief when he wasn't. They wanted an insurrection. So that puts that in place. So that's why they're afraid. That's why all those people are attacking Trump. Now, do we want the Epstein files open? Every single word. Do we want the Pandora's box open? Every single word? Yeah, I was there before anybody was else there. I was there before Pandora Papers. I gave you the money laundering. What you're seeing around the country with Medicaid and Medicare fraud, I gave to you there. Ready? 13 fucking years to go with evidence and witnesses. Witnesses from hospitals. Listen, I had an anesthesiologist get murdered from a hospital. I had a Russian who owned gun dealership in Bedford and Andover, Mass. Was murdered with his family. I had a young boy, 21 years old, working in HBPA union for Penn National. They threw him in a river and drowned him in January. This is the shit I deal with. No telling. When people say, hey, River Dave, they burnt down his house. River Dave was working with me.
Well, yeah. You were exposing it.
I was exposing and what were they doing? Dropping toxic waste into the water supply. Dave videotaped it because he lived in a little shack made out of pallets and lived on 100 apple trees. And he called me while I had my radio show, State of Corruption. So in other words, I just saw someone helped him buying a house.
Oh, good.
He was an 80-year-old man. They came in, beat him up, almost tore his thumb off, and burnt his house down. Told him to get out. All because he talked to me. Okay? That's what that was. That's why I had to stop meeting with witnesses, because everybody and things around me were spying in moles such as Erin Day. Erin Day and Eileen were giving up those witnesses. That's part of why Dave got beat up. They were ratting them all out. So I can't meet with anymore because it was exposing them all to danger.
Right.
I mean, state police were calling me on the phone crying, scared. Which also brought me to the thing, if the state police are that scared, how's the common person? How's the nurse in the hospital? There was a reporter who spoke to me from the Manchester Union leader. Maybe you can Google it. She was murdered walking her dog. Now, you can Google these stories. There's not too many reporters from the Manchester Union here. Walking a dog gets shot. That's what we're dealing with. That's how big. They knew the path was big and that I had to follow and where it went. When I started finding the money laundering and who I was there was the mortgage business, that was the hole. That's why the banking department was on the 50 million. The banking commissioner, the IRS for auditing was on, wanted to pay me 50 million to shut up. You have to know that the IRS is part of all this money laundering and stealing. How about this? You know all those podcasts, I'm sorry, congressmen, they're saying, Omar had this much money and this one had this much money. Where's the IRS? Where's the IRS? Where'd you make the money? How'd you get it? Let's audit it. Omar went from 35 million to 50,000?
Yeah.
That's a fast. And listen, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she left with 35 million too. You've got to know all of them. You audit all of them. You can't be compromised. You can't be compromised and be a senator and a congressman. We have a chance to get our money back, right? Outline the politicians and criminals and cartels that were receiving that money, taking it back from them, freeing up our courts again, kicking out the corrupt politicians, and maybe a fresh start. A fresh start, which what stimulated all this is you going broke. You can't pay your bills. And this thing with the tariff was about going broke, and it was a lie. All of it was a lie. So reality is knocking on your door. They're trying to make it look like they were watching all this. The Medicaid, Medicare, they were on it. Oz is on it. Where were you 2 months ago? A year ago? Where were any of you over all this time saying this was what's happening? Nobody's turning anybody in. It was the fact that you're going broke that's going to come to a very quick to your attention. And then you're going to ask how. And then they're going to have how already building. Well, we're going after Medicaid and Medicare. We're doing our job now. Oh, well, was the cartel that we kicked them out of the country? Remember? We kicked them out. But it doesn't answer to all the times during. I know that during. I was the guy delivering that mail, hand delivering that mail. Remember, he said, I've got the cartel here. And that was the FBI and all. Where were they? They were locking the door while I was filming them. That's some crazy shit. When I have the U.S. attorney and says I have 2 informants from the cartel that are shipping from drugs and money from New York to New Hampshire, and you don't want to talk to them? Right. So everything that's happening, we have a path. This Alvear is low-hanging fruit. He's a CIA operative tied to Flynn and tied to the whole fucking network. Tied to all of it. And what you're seeing here with the flip against Trump is because he always worked for Flynn. Flynn's going to have Raiklan do that. He's going to have those attack people do that. And again, it's how it was set up. If you look at your podcast, the connection is you have certain people to doing separate jobs. One is the attack dog, like Script Keeper, like Dorian Russell. That's what these assholes are. And it's cheap. You said name calling. It's who they are again. All right.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I had to watch it. I was just telling Crashing. I had to watch the Derby yesterday. I got to tell you, it was a hard day. I've got to move my car in 8 days. I have evidence in it, and I've got to store it someplace. Don't have the money to store a place, and no one will take a car that's not registered or inspected because I've been on the road for, I'm going to tell you 5 years, but it's been 7 years. That's the thing with time. When you're in a single cell, solitary confinement, I understand how prisoners lose the sense of time. I lose the sense of time. When I see myself here, I don't recognize myself. Fat and expired. I understand that may be true, but it's because of the choice that I took. But I got to tell you, it's been hard lately. And you don't hear me asking for help very often, but I may have to move soon. because of the car and so forth. And this isn't a good place.
None of
And
them are.
yeah, so I could use a little help. Now,
I
I
always
don't ask every month.
Right, and I always post your link to your GiveSendGo in the description box.
And you know how I hate doing that. How
I
many times I said, don't put anything about money, don't put about thing, don't put about that. Because I don't want to cloud your judgment on any of this. But you know what I get, so in other words, there is no money. And they are trying to stop me. And it is hard. I'm not telling you it ain't working, but I won't flip. But shit, have you seen me in the last 2 years not be sick on this?
right.
So I know I'm not well, and I'm 70 years old. So let's all hope this ends one way or the other. But I can't tell you how critical it is right now. You know how I know it's critical? It's how they put me under a certain pressure. The more pressure are in, the more leverage they have. If they see me, we're holding on, they'll put more pressure on. Which is, listen, I get it, and I have bad days. Watching the Kentucky Derby as the world champion, winning the most races, and half of those people that I know, and I'm their idol. This guy Rapoli is the number one guy. We tell people Mike Gill's my idol. That's how we started in horse racing. He's number one.
Wow.
I mean, someone should tell him, hey, you know your idol? He may have to sleep in one of the stalls.
Yeah.
But it was from making the right choice. I could have made the wrong choice, held all my money and their money. And you see that Kentucky Derby? I'd have been there. Okay, Crash. I'll talk to you.
All right, Mike. Bye.